We're going to show you a quick video to start things off after these short technical difficulties. But hello to everyone on the live stream, watching at home.
That is the video. It's like, yeah, play this video.
Do, 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 do.
Here we go.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you,
I
Keith.
like long videos and lens flares, so that's what that was. So if you guys don't know who we are, we're FyreUK.
Hi, I'm Phil.
Well, I'm
He's
Matt,
Matt,
but
yeah.
this is me. I'm pretty looking in Minecraft only. But you know, it's good. And
Not very good on camera.
there's Phil. Okay, so this is our panel that Lydia has decided to call Master Builders. We didn't choose that name.
No. I don't think anyone chose any of the names for their
No,
panels.
no. We're not that modest.
Speak for yourself.
Okay. So basically, we would just want to talk about a few things about what we do to start with, and we're going to go all the way back to April 2011.
All the way back to where we first kind of got into Minecraft and first decided to do videos and really form the community that we've got today.
Yeah. So it's pretty weird. In that top left image, there's a sign that even says the date. And the reason we built this little cathedral and we time-lapsed it is we were bored waiting for Portal 2. So we were like, let's do something.
That is a genuine origin story. We were like, Portal 2's out in like 5 hours. Do you want to do something in Minecraft?
And then we built this and time-lapsed it, and now we're here, which is weird.
So thank you, Valve, for
Thank you.
releasing
Yeah.
Portal 2.
It's kind of weird to think, like, we came from just us two building, and now it's, you know, a huge team of us. We have so many guys who are amazing who work with us, so...
Do we have any server members in here now?
Scream. That's what I want to hear.
All in one corner. I like
They're
that.
just all, like, grouped together. Well, I mean, there's a lot of the things that we do wouldn't, you know, happen without the server members. So I just wanted to thank everyone who's helped, whether it's be time-lapses, like server projects, an Epic Adventure, whatever it is that you guys have helped with. Thank you so much. So I'm going to clap for the server members.
Yeah, most of the stuff that was in that video you just watched was not made by us.
No.
Like, this was just stuff that was found on our servers. So.
Yeah, we just find things sometimes, and the guys are like, you know, we just built this, and we're like, you guys are awesome. And then
It's like,
you
I
know,
just got bored, so I just started putting stuff together, and now I've got a massive like castle. And
I guess that's, you know, to move on to what it's like now. And this is kind of some of the stuff that, you know, we're building now. And it's quite a big jump. It's a big leap from what we did back in April 2011, like a year and a half later. We're doing these huge builds, and it's such an honor to kind of be involved in them and building them or recording them, whatever it is, which is fun.
It's difficult to try and... We've always got to one-up ourselves on every project, which makes this incredibly difficult. But
very difficult.
We tried to stay true to like what we had was... None of it's, you know, completely pre-planned. We go in and we just build it on the fly and when we're time-lapsing.
And that's, especially with the latest time-lapse, we built that all on the fly, like all, like with people just going in every day, and it took like 9 days to build it. And it's crazy how big that thing is now. It kind of ended up being one of those, we have to do it now, finish it, because it got so close to the deadline. Yeah. But it was cool. It was very cool.
It's like we've got like 5 hours work to do, and we've only got like half an hour.
Yeah.
Hi guys, do you want to help us, please?
It's always interesting doing that kind of stuff. So, I mean, another thing about FyreUK is we do a lot of collaborations with people. We build a lot of things for the YouTubers. And it's with those collaborations that I feel has kind of put us in the spotlight and made us be as cool as we are now in terms of video content. So I just want to talk about some of those. First up, last November, we had the Syndicate project, and we built a little thing in his series that was called Fire City. On our channel, it was called Aquila. And he kind of, you know, it was in a story way, he kind of explored that and found that, and then opened chests. Every episode,
every chest,
and all the chests were empty.
There were over 1,000 chests in that city, and there was only one which had an item in it, and he went through all of them.
All of them, yep.
All of them.
And then we also got the honor to work with Captain Sparkles, who's here at MineCon, to build the set for Fallen Kingdom, one of his music videos. And
do you guys enjoy Fallen Kingdom?
Woo! I mean, Fallen Kingdom was really cool. I mean, you were probably the lead on that because I was working on Hat Film stuff when you were working on that.
It was one of these things where he wanted a nice big set, but obviously had to animate it all, so we were like confined to a nice kind of small area. But so like what you actually see is actually like I think it's like only a couple of chunks wide or something actually.
Yeah, I think it was like 100 by 100 we had to work with or something like that, so it's pretty small.
But it was absolutely fantastic to watch that actually come to life in an animation.
Yeah, definitely. And clearly, I made my presentation far too large, so we're bumping it. Great, it's good stuff. And then these guys, but we'll talk about these guys later. You may know them.
Matter. Hi, Troll.
Just Hat Films right here. So we have now got 195 videos, which feels crazy in a year and a half.
I still don't believe we've actually done it for a year, but it has been over
crazy.
a year now.
Yeah.
And it's like to kind of shoot up as quickly as we have.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
my voice just did.
So I don't know the exact number of subscribers right now, but we want to thank everyone who does watch our videos because it makes this possible. You know, coming to MineCon, doing all of this cool stuff, and building all the cool things we do.
I didn't imagine ever having a job like this, and I just thought I was doing it for fun. And then everyone was like, "Oh my God, you guys are doing stuff!" And then these viewers came along, and yeah. You don't know what to expect when you get that. You don't build a community. The community just comes to you and says, "Hey, we're gonna just show up here." It's like, I didn't expect to see you guys.
No, look at this full room. And 33 time lapses, which I figured out have been some crazy number, like 100 and something terabytes of one of my footage. It's like 160 terabytes or something. I was like, that is way too much.
Yeah. What was the biggest time lapse? It was.
Well, Space. The most recent one ended up being 8.6 terabyte for the footage of that. Yeah. And that was because I was filming. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's pretty painful to edit that because I edit all my stuff in After Effects, and it's crazy to put all that together.
I mean, there are ways of going around it. We can avoid it if we want to, but you know, it's the way we like doing it. So you know, it works.
Then, I've got a statistic here, Phil. That's pointed straight at you.
Fun facts.
One Call of Duty video.
Oh yeah.
And that was
my one as well.
Yeah.
Only one COD video.
Okay, so I really wanted to spend today, a good portion of the day, talking about the space time-lapse and how we kind of go from concept and then turning it into what it was. Now, I drew this in Photoshop about a month before we actually did the time-lapse. It's not the easiest thing to see. It kind of looks like a lot of white lines and then a white blob in the middle.
It's a really bad like crossword thing or something.
But I then went in-game and built, you know, a very small mini-map of it in-game for people to kind of see. Again, it's not the easiest thing to see because it's in space and it's pretty dark.
Can we like dim the lights a little bit just to get that?
It doesn't matter, I'll just talk. So what happens is we go in there, and the only reason why I do these kind of mini-maps or to show people what to do is because there's so many of us working on a project, and we have to go in with Voxel Sniper and then build all of these terrains. And a lot of people don't know what I have in my head, because my head's kind of like a chest.
I don't want to go in your head
most
of the time.
No, it's crazy. So we go from that, and then we start building things, and sometimes the things aren't included. Now this is something I was building just before the space time-lapse. This is like a huge spaceship, and we just didn't have time to finish it. I just thought I'd put this in there because it was like me and another server member who were slaving away on this, but alas, we had to focus on the time-lapse more, and we just couldn't finish it and get it in. And sometimes it's like that. We've had some time-lapses where we've just scrapped the idea completely.
Yeah, it kind of goes through a stage of like we'll bounce ideas around and like grab reference images. Like we'll just Google space stations and we'll just go through for like half an hour going, oh, I like this one, and then we'll throw like templates together. Luckily for this one, we already had a texture pack to go with, like a custom designed.
Yeah.
So we just looked for similar elements and went, okay, so we kind of want space station, look for conduits, that kind of stuff, and you just spend like a couple of weeks just casually building away until you find something you go, yeah, everyone work from this. And
yeah, because we have to have some sort of style template for people to build off, because if we don't have something for people to kind of get the idea of what we're going to build, everyone's like, wait, we're doing what in space with what and who? There's going to be what? And that's kind of like the reaction.
Yeah, there was a huge diversity when I said, oh, guys, build something in space, and it was like...
And now this big white person on the screen, this is one of my other accounts. This is Miss Time-Lapse, and I use her to film. She's usually just sat next to me on a Mac. I kind of, the way I speak about her now, I feel like she's becoming sentient. She's real.
Basically, Matt has developed split personality syndrome, and he has Mr. Time-Lapse and Miss Time-Lapse. They actually have arguments on the server sometimes. You'll see in the chat, they're just fighting with one another. I'm like,
I can't help
Matt,
myself.
What are you doing?
It's a bad relationship the two have, but, they still film all the time-lapses. That's what's going to happen.
But the people you see behind are like, we always have like mods watching, like behind in case someone gets too close or anything.
Yeah, that is actually filming a part of the part of the space time-lapse right there, so that's actually in shot. That's like, I just managed to grab that shot
Although
really quickly.
you may notice that I went away and was still
in one of
game.
the shots, yeah.
And so you'll just see my character just flying in the bit of the hangar as the camera kind of pans back. And I'm like,
that's good.
I thought you guys were going to like move me.
Okay,
it's a little Easter egg there. So.
We'll take a look at something else here. So this is, I don't know how well, okay, that kind of, yeah, okay. That's the full space time lapse, and that looks crazy.
Yeah, so the Google Maps.
There's a big empty asteroid on the side there, and everyone always says to me when I see them in this image, what is that big empty asteroid all about?
Which one is it?
It's all the way on this side, like above me. And what that is that's got the hangar in it, but we didn't have time to do anything outside it, so it's just a huge interior space. I'm looking at it now, and it's like, that is one big asteroid. It's like, wow. Okay. So
yeah, we rarely have time where like we'll do one shot, and it's like, okay, we've got like 3 hours, and we always rush things at the end. It's
we
like,
always rush things. At the end.
Okay, someone try and build like a ship, like there, now, go, and like rush them, and we always usually get shouted back saying, no, stop.
Yeah.
Stop shouting at me. I'm just trying to help you
A
play
lot
the
of
game.
a lot of our time-lapses we do on weekends, but one thing with the space time-lapse as well, this sounds like really mundane, but it's actually really important, is that the amount of people that will turn up to like build on the weekdays is so small that I had to just lead these tiny teams building these asteroids on some of the weekdays. And that was fun, because it was literally just me and like 20 people just building, and it was like, okay, we're going to build some more things now, and they're like, okay.
We have no way of telling though, like we can have like 20 people, or I think we've had most 150 at
Yeah, I
once.
think 150 was made.
That's chaotic.
Yeah, organizing 150
If you get
people.
stressed easily, don't join this line of work.
I mean, we have a TeamSpeak server. A lot of people always ask us like, how we communicate to each other to say, like, how are you building that and that? We just split into teams sometimes in TeamSpeak, and that's just how it works.
So like
We
with
just
this one,
have to
because
do
we
it.
had 2 cameras, we could always have 2 shots running at the same time.
Yeah.
So we'd have team 1 and 2 with their leaders and their assistants and stuff, telling everyone, okay, this is kind of style you're going for in this area.
Yeah.
And we can have something simultaneously, so it breaks up the 150.
Yeah.
Because if you have over 100 people in one spot trying to place one block, no.
Yeah, it doesn't go
You are
very
going to
well.
have a bad time.
So talking about the space time lapse, we'll play it now. I think we'll put it on lowish volume, and we'll talk about it a little bit.
We'll try. Yeah.
We'll try. Okay. This is great. I love looking at blackness. That's great.
Wood for technical
Let's
difficulties.
double click it again, Matt. There we go. Okay. So we'll let you guys watch this, and we'll just kind of talk over a few little bits, because the music's too awesome to talk over all the time, because it's approaching Nirvana. Shout out to Sam and Andrew, because we love approaching Nirvana. There's one thing that I know I wanted to do with this time-lapse when I was filming it, and that was show off the areas in a way that people knew what they were. That's why at the bottom you'll see like a thing slide out saying like residential quarter or something like that. And it's because the place is so big that you just can't kind of see it all.
And there's a kind of point where you get to in designs where it's like all our buildings are kind of looking the same, so a lot of stuff we do have is very like kind of out of the box thinking. Like you're just like, that doesn't really look as though it would really fit in, but it's, you know, we're not taking it too seriously. It's more the fun idea of what you would imagine sci-fi to be, rather than the hardcore seriousness of this is exactly what it would look like and nothing else.
Now, I think looking at this, people are kind of like, that doesn't look like Minecraft. What have you done to our baby? I mean, really, there's not a lot going on there. There's less mods on there than I've used on pretty much all the other time lapses. There's just a texture pack change, and that's about it. Because the skybox is a part of that. And I have a feeling this is a really old version of the time lapse, but it looks okay. It looks okay.
I don't know, does it look okay?
It looks good. Woo! See, there we go. I'll make the noise.
I heard a yeah. It's alright.
I mean, it's interesting looking at this again, especially on the big screen. It's weird when the camera pans all the way out that it doesn't really look like Minecraft, and that's the one thing that we try to do, is build something that's, you know, impressive enough to look like it's another game, or it's looking like a piece of concept art or something like that.
This is my favorite shot, this one.
I wonder how much lag there's going to be. I feel this is like a really old edit version.
But I mean, the way that we set this up, for those wondering how we kind of got complete into this, it was just a void world. And again, we used the same concept. We just used voxel sniper and just you made the asteroids.
Your voice is going.
It's gone.
Yeah. So I kind of laid out like points, just tiny little blocks in space where I knew those were going to be, and then people just went, okay, when they looked at the minimap and started building in between it and stuff. And the big thing that I had in my head and everyone was confused about for about the first week was what a conduit was. I still think people don't know what a conduit is. It's just a big long thing that links two asteroids together. It doesn't technically make sense out of the science fiction realm, but this was for Sci-Fi Week, so I thought I'd just go all out.
Also, some people didn't understand what the vacuum of space was.
Yeah.
We had a residential area with like gardens, and they were actually on the outside of the asteroid. So I was just like, okay, spaceman going around watering his, tulips.
That'd be
and stuff.
great. I'm sure that's what all the NASA astronauts do.
Yeah.
They just go out and they do that.
And space helicopters and stuff like that.
Oh, I was wondering where we were at. Okay, we're doing industrial stuff right now. Okay.
So yeah, the main premise of this was it was going to be like a massive space station with obviously places for people to live, mining equipment and stuff, which is the main focus of going to an asteroid, is to kind of strip it out, get the minerals and stuff. Tourist hubs and stuff for those visiting, and then obviously like the hangars and stuff in a main big city.
It's crazy to think how long this video is as well, because we made it in
long video.
like 9 days or so, and it's a really long video, and it's still pretty fast.
It's the kind of loop that we're in, though. I mentioned this briefly earlier. Like
you
always
guys
kind of
you guys are getting to see behind the scenes stuff here. Whenever you see the sky glitch like that, I have to edit that out. So I don't know what version of the video this is. This is like a really old one, clearly. That's just on my pen drive. Behind the scenes.
All the technicalities.
It's great. I mean, that's kind of what it's like. We often get things in Minecraft and there's like glitches on blocks, or there's people running the wrong way or things like that, and we just have to fix those in editing. And that's kind of the interesting part about when you think about Minecraft, is that it's not always a perfect game, especially run on some systems. It's kind of lackluster.
Oh yeah, no, you really have to run with it on the fly. Like we've had so many disconnects of the server, like everybody just kind of like disconnects at once, and we have to stop and restart the shot again.
That's
I
happened
mean,
so
most of
much.
this stuff is all done in one take, though. I mean, you can obviously see buildings go up and then be immediately torn down again.
I like how it cuts off like the little bit of that because my video is far too big, but that said military and defense sector. I should just commentate over
The
this.
military defense sector.
That'd be great.
And on your left, an asteroid.
I feel like the music's too quiet.
And on your right, another asteroid.
That would be great.
I
You
got
should
so
become-
bored of asteroids by the end of this. I was like bleeding from my eyes. I'm like, I don't want to build on another space rock.
Well, we don't have to anymore.
No, we've done it now.
Sci-Fi Week's done.
It's done.
So I'm gonna let you guys watch the rest of this time lapse because I think we've talked
Yep.
enough, and I will turn this up because Approaching Nirvana just kicked in big style. So enjoy.
I think this is me coming up on the right in a second. I don't know. I might pass. Yeah, right there.
Good job, Phil.
Sorry.
This shot was a pain, just FYI. Like when you see it lagging like crazy in a minute, it's because all of the lighting is trying to regenerate while we're building, because we're building hollow structures and it hated us.
Also, one of the main issues we have is that obviously chunk loading is a bit of a pain. Like there's a big asteroid behind this coming up and you can't even see it because it's just so far away. It's over like a couple hundred blocks away. that wasn't done in Minecraft, just in case people...
Our server members. Woo! Okay, so there's been a project going on for a while now that we've been working on since January, and it's been a crazy project. It's called an epic adventure.
You guys heard of that?
You heard of that? Woo!
No? Okay.
No, clearly not. So I want to introduce three guys onto the stage right now. This is Hat Films, everybody.
So please welcome Smith, Trott, and Ross.
Just going to hold his hand. Just hold his hand.
I'm just going to hold him here. Yeah.
Hello. Good day. We're back
Good
on the
day.
panel again.
Hello.
Bit of deja
We
vu
just can't
going
keep
on.
you off the stage, can we?
Wow. So, yeah, like I said, back in January, we started building a map for you guys called an epic adventure. Do you remember that? Do you remember that first conversation?
No.
No.
I actually do. I remember actually kind of watching you guys for a little while. We did it. Obviously, we always say about FyreUK, it was the day we stopped doing time lapses. But no, I do. I remember before even that conversation, we were like, oh man, have you seen these guys FyreUK? And like, they make some insane stuff. And we were like, we should totally like see if we can do something with them. And here we are.
It was a very defeated way of just like, well, we were going to do time lapse, and then you showed us up, so we scrapped that idea.
Pretty much. We
So-
were well gels.
On the screen right now, these are a bunch of images from like behind the scenes while we've been building the map, so it's pretty crazy. I had to go through like 9 months worth of like just random screenshots and be like, oh, this is kind of funny.
The top corner is like a waterfall, and we spawned about 400 dogs to see how long it take to get to the bottom.
Because that's what we
Because
do.
why not, you know? You spend forever making these maps, you just need some downtime.
Those rapids was some of the most fun I think I've ever had in Minecraft.
Oh, the
Honest,
one
they
down
were
to
so
Dragon
awesome.
Head.
Yeah,
that was
okay.
fun.
Yeah.
They worked like proper rapids as well. Like
Yeah,
really
they're like you had to
ride
like
down them
maneuver
on a
down
boat,
them
yeah.
and like properly move your very glitchy boat. Yeah.
So I guess the challenge for you guys was, before you were creating set pieces,
Yeah.
Yeah.
showcasing, this one had to be an interactive experience, with the story and everything. So.
Well,
We
that's-
loved making things to kill you.
Well, that's where I made the Overseer, which Ross does the voice of. Do you want to say something Overseer-y?
We don't have bleeps,
Without
so
swearing.
yeah. We can't censor you.
Like what would he normally say?
Lots of love, the overseer.
Lots of love for the overseer.
There we go. I mean, it was pretty interesting writing him, because he is really mean all of the time.
He's on Twitter as well, apparently.
Yeah.
He does have a
account.
Twitter account, so you can find it. It's like at.
He gets really excited for some reason whenever a new episode comes out. I'm not sure why that would happen. So, again, we'll skip across to some of these more of these, and a few of these are pretty interesting, because that one right in the middle is actually kind of an in-progress shot of Dungeon 4 when we were building that.
Oh,
So it's kind of
crikey.
like, it's like bare almost. It's like sad.
Is it
crazy.
annoying when we just kind of waltz through it, blow everything up, and ruin your set piece?
No, it's great. That's
I
even
really
better.
like that.
What's worse is when you guys get really close to where I know nothing's built, and it's like the edge of the world, and I'm like, don't go any further, don't go any further, and you don't. I'm like, oh, thank God.
The amount of stuff you guys have missed as well that we kind of put right
There's an
in the
entire
map.
side story.
There's a reason for that.
We're going to have to show
We're
you.
awful.
When the map's out, they've
Why do you
got
think we
something
kept
to
making
see.
them harder? It was kind of a punishment for you guys just ignoring us.
I remember right at the start there was a big bit where we could go left to like some mystery beach, and it's like optional, and like we were just like no. And then, but then I went and explored it like offline. And I was like, oh, should have gone here.
Coulda. And these are some more images towards the end. Now, the one right at the very end is actually a tease for the end of the map, because the map is now officially finished. We've sent it to you. We've sent it to you guys. You're going to be playing it after MineCon, I guess.
Yeah, we only just got it, and obviously we're working on that other video, so
Yeah.
yeah, we will definitely do that soon. But hopefully it's exciting. What have you
It's
got in
not our
store for us?
fault
Any
anymore, so you
sneak
can
peeks?
stop blaming us on your videos. Just like, oh, we're waiting on FyreUK to finish it.
We're done now. That's it.
I'd
We're
like to
done,
say
Harry.
that,
You
I'd say
now.
that our job's a little easier than your job in this situation. We're literally
just
just
bumble
falling
around
around
in
in
the
it.
I mean, if you guys remember all the way back to the beginning, that log cabin where you all started off and then you had to, you had a night before you'd set off. I mean, is it crazy to think how far you guys have come now? You're now in a cave, just to kind of recap, you're in a cave after a huge dungeon. It's crazy just to think how far that is and how far like things have evolved within the map.
I'm excited to see like what the people see when they use it themselves, because there's a lot of stuff we've missed out, and obviously the scale of it's huge. So I'm quite excited about when that's going to be released. I mean, when do you plan on releasing that?
You will see in a trailer that we're showing very soon.
Ooh, tease.
Yeah, no, I mean, going back to the map, I mean, like the journey, like, I mean, that's something we were talking about as well, like with our intro video, like, there's a very much a journey feel to playing Minecraft and like the exploration. And I think that something that really worked really well in your map was the difference, like almost like the acts, like each one, like more recently when we were going over those bridges and it was really stormy, like that was like crazy. That was awesome.
I mean, what's weird about it is when we went back to the cabin at the beginning, that was all built with original height limit. So like the big dungeons and stuff there, and I'm like, this top of this is just flat. I'm gonna have to go back over here at some point before we release.
Yeah.
Because and then when we go to Dungeon 3, which is the very top image on the screen, that's huge. That goes like all the way, because Dragon Head's underground, and then that goes all the way up to Sky Limit. And it was so fun to build those huge statues in like, I think they were like all the way up to 235 or something like that, and they're just massive.
One of the many issues of having updates whilst you're making an adventure map.
Yeah, and the TNT didn't work once, and
We
you guys...
dread every update.
That was
It's
fun.
like, what is this going to break in our system? Do we have to completely redo parts of the map again?
Yeah, so one part of Dungeon 3 is there's a door that blows up, and they were filming, and they went up, they put the button on, and it was going to blow up, didn't blow up. So Skype call from
yeah, it was
Hat
like
Films.
mid-filming.
We're filming an epic adventure right now. Can you come fix something? So I have to jump on the server and go fix something. And then Trot decided to just encase me in TNT.
As he does.
No, I didn't. That's a lie. I didn't do that. Of course I didn't.
There's footage somewhere of that.
I think
All right.
if you look at that top screenshot there, there's like a sort of an large arch. Well, those two sort of supporting bits are hollow and full of traps. And I think we've literally set off every single trap in that tower.
When you walk in, you set off every single time.
Yeah.
And you set it off 3 times.
Above expectations. We expected you to set off one and kind of learn from that. No, it was thank you
We
so
don't
much
learn,
for being
do we?
so derpy.
We haven't got better at Minecraft for a year and a half.
And then you stole the eggs as well, which was fantastic. I was just like, oh, I'm just going to steal these monster eggs. Hey.
Oh yeah, spawning things.
I mean, that's kind of the fun stuff as well, looking back at it and kind of feeling, what the map's changed. And that's why we've made this trailer, to kind of go back, look at your series as well as how the map's kind of evolved in itself. So we'll look at this trailer and then briefly talk about it before opening up to Q&A. So let me cue this up, because I'm going to have to do some crazy stuff
We'll
again.
talk a little bit first whilst he gets it together again.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm not going to sing.
I would just like to say, the first dungeon that you guys did, that was supposed to be the easy one. How long did you spend on that?
You spent
A
2
long
episodes
time.
singing
Long
about
time.
robot wars and falling off
That's a lot of
cliffs.
Robot Wars references. You had loads.
I love Robot Wars. Wish it would come back.
Wow.
That's great.
Okay, so we're going to play the epic adventure trailer here.
I'm very excited.
They haven't seen this yet.
Yeah.
I'm scared what they're going to like beat me up.
If I get a slap, I'll be...
Who are they?
Christmas. Such an ambiguous time. And there we go.
Amazing. Woo! Looking forward to that.
You can tell that we got actors in to play these guys
Yeah,
because
we
they're
weren't
just not
jumping.
that good at jumping puzzles.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
Although,
don't be
that
bothered.
section over the lava, the guys who actually were pretending to be you guys died about 100 times because we were in survival mode. So
I don't know why
I was
you all
like,
struggle.
that isn't difficult. Then I just went in and did it in one, and I was like, yep,
Show off.
clearly, that's why I don't play them. I just make them for torture.
Thanks very much.
Dance with your strings.
I mean, it's kind of come to an end very quickly, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys see at the end, because at the end of that trailer, there's like a little tease of what's to come, but it's not going to be quick. Like, I don't think you're going to have 2 episodes and epic finale time. It's going to be a pretty long burn, because that's probably the longest
Burn
part
being
of the
the
map
opposite
is yet to
word.
come.
But the map's coming out in Christmas, is it?
Yeah.
Merry
Sorry.
Christmas.
Yearly Christmas present to the fans.
You'll have fun trying to get everything out by then.
We'll
No
do it, it'll be
pressure.
fine.
No
You'll just have to do a week.
You
of an
built a
epic
whole
adventure.
map. I think we can do a few videos.
Oh, yeah.
They were just like, oh, we just need something a little bit to tie us over. It won't be too long. And a year later, we're still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to open it up to Q&A stuff now. So if anyone has any questions, I do believe there are 2 microphones for anyone to go and ask questions. We've got about 10, 15 minutes
We've got
so
a
anyone
good
asks
deal of time.
questions.
As I said earlier on, I don't know if people are still coming at that point. We will do signings outside later on.
Yeah.
So try not to mob us at the doors, though. Outside's like a good outside rather than just there. Please.
Whenever you're ready.
When you do huge buildings, how much world edit do you use, or voxel sniper, or things like that?
Well, in the actual time lapses, we don't use any world edit or anything like that, but beforehand, in building the terrain and stuff, we spend up to a week doing that, depending on how many people are working on it. We have some moderators who literally just go in and build the terrain with voxel sniper, and it can take about up to a week to get to the point where we're really happy with it. But I wouldn't really say the time lapses, except the very, very first one we did. We don't really use any world edit anymore or anything like that.
We
so.
did use world edit in the cathedral one, which we showed earlier, to kind of copy the bit because we couldn't be bothered and Portal 2 was on its way.
Yeah.
But it's usually about a week, 2 weeks, depending on the size of the build.
Yeah.
And the server not crashing, thanks to that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
How do you stop the name badges showing up? in your video?
F1. Fastest question ever.
Yeah, F1 mode, and the rest of it's just used for
You
camera
can hit
studio
F8
mods.
as well, and that gives you a nice floaty cam that kind of goes smoothly around. That's cool. I like F8.
I call it marijuana cam because it's like, ooh.
I don't think you can say that at Disneyland.
I read, yeah.
Sorry.
Before you do your big builds, how long does it take for you to plan, and how would you do it?
Ooh, that's a big question. It really just depends on the scale of it, because it can be pretty quick. Like we can go, okay, this is kind of what we're going to build, and then go straight from that into, you know, building the time lapse. Or it can be a 2-3 month long process of building little like templates that we're going to use styles of, or huge landscapes that we're going to be on. It's a big undertaking for all of our members, including us, building it. It can really depend.
Yeah, it is just a project-based thing. Again, as we said, we usually get all the way up to the filming stage and then decide, actually, we're not going to release this or film it for a long time because we've got other projects coming up. So it really depends on how busy we are and how good the idea is, really.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, who's your favorite music composer, kind of like Hans Zimmer and those guys?
Favorite YouTubers?
No, music
Composer.
Ooh.
I don't
Matt?
know. Who do you like?
I don't know, who do you?
No, that's a general question out there. Who do you like?
I like music from Inception and Mass
Well, Hans
Effect.
Zimmer does do pretty epic
Yeah.
stuff. I wish his
Yeah.
music wasn't copyrighted.
Yeah.
I would use it all the time. I mean, for us, I think probably approaching Nirvana, if you kind of think of from a music point, but other than
Yeah.
that, I just find pieces of really well-composed music on the internet that I can use.
I wish I could write more, kind of do what you guys were talking about, write your music to fit the actual thing, but there is just a time when someone has made just this amazing orchestral piece. But yeah, I guess, you know, Hans Zimmer nails it on the head, actually, because I love Batman.
I do know of a Norwegian one who you can use his
Go on.
music. Jonas B. Ingebretsen.
I think someone's linked me to them before.
Yeah.
He's really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
What texture pack was the space?
It's not released yet, is it? It's called Oberon. It was a couple of our server members made it. So it was just specifically made for the time-lapse. And it was quite a big departure for us from going from... ooh, my laptop's decided to turn itself off. There we go. It's quite a big departure going from DokuCraft, which is what we're so used to, going into, you know, space, because all the blocks are different and everything like that. But the guys who made it did an amazing, amazing job. And I think they're planning to release it.
I believe it might actually already be released. I'm not too sure. There is
Check
a section
Planet
on our
Minecraft.
forums. You can actually find out about it on FyreUK.com.
It should be somewhere. Should be somewhere.
But yeah, no, it was completely worked from the ground up for the time lapse. So if we had any requests, we'd say, hey, we're thinking of doing like pillars and like, you know, bio stuff. They would just completely rework it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Well, currently, I'm sort of not really a brilliant builder like you are, but do you have any suggestions that could help me get up to almost your level of buildings?
My suggestion when anyone ever asks me this is detail. Like, always plan something out without detail and then add as much detail as you can, then destroy all that and then do it again. Then it will look okay by your level. Then you may want to go do it again. Because the thing about being creative in that way is you want to become a perfectionist at the same time, and being creative and a perfectionist is like the worst thing because it takes up so much of your time. But really just aim to kind of mimic real life detail within the builds and use things like stair blocks and, you know, the different orientations they can be to really enhance your builds. Because, I mean, you can't build a dirt house without dirt, but maybe it's a dirt house with some wood around it, and then it starts looking like a mansion. And then you get rid of the dirt, and it's just a mansion.
Yeah. I mean, basically just feel free to use any kind of reference blocks you have.
I can't say that I built an Epic Adventures mansion out of dirt first or anything. I'm not going to say that. No, that didn't happen.
Dirt houses.
That didn't happen.
But don't be afraid to like destroy your own work as well. Like, as I was saying during the time lapse, we tear down a lot of the stuff we build, even though it looks okay. We're like, actually, we kind of want to go with like something else and just try the water. And if it doesn't work, you can always build it back up again. You know.
Yeah.
Just feel free to test the waters a little bit and just go, hey, I'll just do it for the sake of doing it. If it doesn't work, hey, it doesn't work. You know, you've learned that that doesn't work then.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cool.
Have you ever done a time lapse without a texture pack, or do you intend to?
The one in the opening ceremony that we did for Mojang, the little Kybera map, that was in default, and that is the only one in recent knowledge that we use just the default on. It's kind of weird for us going back to it.
We don't dislike default. It's just that obviously having a custom texture pack gives us freedom to add in anything we're missing. Like I said with the space one, oddly enough, we turned glass into like an iron pillar. because we already
Yeah,
had
glass wasn't glass in space.
Yeah.
Ice was glass, so we had to make sure ice melting was off and stuff like that. And glass was almost like an industrial support pillar.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what it was. So it's kind of weird. And that's the best thing about texture packs, though, is you can kind of change the way Minecraft looks completely in just the click of a button, which I really like.
But I mean, I play when I play survival, I do it in default because it brings me back to the traditional Minecraft. So, but in terms of what we film.
Good job.
Yeah, we use our own custom artists and stuff, so.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I need someone to recommend me like a hot drink after this to cure me of all coldy fluiness.
In Minecraft, there's only squares. How would you react if circles were added?
I think I'd probably be really confused for a while, and then try to figure out how to build with them. I'm not sure if just like if you imagine the space of a block and then putting a circle in the middle, it would be really difficult to build with that. But if maybe they had like hemispheres that were like square bases and then it was rounded on top, that kind of stuff wouldn't bother me as much. Because I mean, they've done something similar, kind of changing things up with the stair blocks recently. Because if you have a corner on that, they all mix together now, which is kind of a good, change for them. Because I mean, with that, it makes me making kind of nice flowing corners a lot better.
Yeah. Although I have found that going back to a couple of builds, they've auto-corrected like the corners to that. Yeah. So we'll go back to our old builds and it just looks completely different. We're like, what did someone do to the roof?
It's Mojang.
It's just completely moved around. But I don't know, I probably wouldn't get used to it. I find blocks nice and easy to count, so if I had circles, I just wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
What was your favorite build that you've done?
My favorite build actually is one called Dwarven City, and it's one. Why I like it so much is probably because of the camera work, because it was before Camera Studio, and I mean, Hat Films talked about this in their panel earlier, that they use Camera Studio to record everything in terms of camera movements in Minecraft, and that's what we do. But before that, what we used to do is use web and then hold W and Alt on the keyboard, so then the camera would keep moving forward. So when I used to do moving shots, it used to be kind of like a completely manual thing. And we
did
just
some crazy contraptions for that.
We did some really weird stuff.
Sword, holding W, leaning to the side.
Yeah,
It was
because
just
if you
like,
hold the sword, like blocking with the sword, that slows you down as well. So I used everything to slow us down to the smallest amount, and then it got to a really good point. And
we
then
usually had to like get rid of the web in front of you and like build it like somewhere else because you're going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you got out of that web, it's like, oh no, there's the speed gone.
Yeah, and then someone said, oh, there's this mod that can do all that for you. And then I cried for about 4 days, and then came back and used it.
Okay, thank you.
When you're doing your builds, how much of like the stuff is like down to the creativity of the individual builder, and how much is like dictated by you and like the team leaders?
See, that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the like a really good question for everyone on the server as well. But what it would be is it's kind of split. Sometimes we have a build or a template or something like that we have that then that team builds. But then, especially in the space time lapse, we had a bunch of people who just went in and built just by themselves, and then they were being creative by that. I mean, the build leaders are there as kind of almost like wardens to everyone, to oversee. I didn't want to say overseer with Ross sat there, so I mean, they just kind of watch them and then make sure that the builds aren't, really bad.
Well, we usually stick like 2 people in the teams. We have a team leader who kind of coordinates the team as a whole, like helps people out, answers questions and stuff. And then we have an architect who is like with us in the design process of the templates and everything. So they kind of say, okay, like, your build's good there, but like why don't you try adding like pillars in there, and they kind of explain it a little bit more in detail. But they're still free to go with whatever they want. We really, the space when we opened up to complete free build, so anyone could do what they want.
Yeah, which is cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
By how much do you speed up your videos?
Oh, it depends. It really does, because I do it all in After Effects. I go into time remapping, and then say if the shot's fairly short, say if the shot's like maybe 30 minutes, I just speed it up to a minute. But then if it's over that, like some shots we've had are like 2 hours long, I really just have to like gauge it like at the spot of when editing, because sometimes I speed it up to a certain amount in After Effects and it's just like, this is way too slow. So then I have to go into like whatever editing program like Sony Vegas or Premiere Pro and speed it up again, just so that then it fits to the tempo of the music and the beats and everything.
Thank you.
What inspired you to build the space build?
The space build, there's a few reference images, but I think the big inspirations behind it from me as kind of a gamer point of view would be things like Mass Effect and Halo. I mean, one of the Space Fighter hangar is a complete inspiration of the Pillar of Autumn hangar from Halo. It's like almost like a complete free build. Like I built that before as well. Like it was just me and like one other guy, and then we had to time lapse it. And I was like, oh, I just built this, but now I have to do it again.
I think the original idea for Space, though, the original concept was that I guess we were kind of running dry on ideas of stuff to do on the ground. Like we've kind of covered most of the stuff we've already done, and it's like, do we have to do another castle? Do we have to do another one of these? So we thought we need to go outside the box, and the only way is up, basically.
But if that makes people worry, you saying that we're out of ideas to do things on the ground. We've just got new ideas. Literally, I was in a meeting before we came to MineCon with some of our moderators for this awesome new idea that we're going to be prepping for like early next year. So just keep your eyes on FyreUK for that, because it's going to be really, really cool.
But no, Space was like, I think we just went for a sci-fi moment of we all were talking about it, especially with Halo and stuff coming up at the time, and we were like, we really want to go out into space and just take Minecraft with us.
If anyone wants you to donate like $100,000 to FyreUK to take me into space, I'd be okay with that. Maybe maybe
I think I'd be okay
everyone
with you going into space as well. That might
Yeah, it's just a one-way trip, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Giant cannon just up the way.
Great.
Thanks.
Use them for medical experiments and stuff.
What do you think of builds where they use the natural form of the land?
Sometimes, I mean, terrain is quite a big thing. We've always discussed doing a time-lapse where we use voxel sniper to build the terrain as well, haven't we? We just never have.
Yeah, it depends on the style. Like mostly for the buildings we have them in mind with a terrain base to them, so we usually build that beforehand. But I mean, I think on the asteroid one, we built a lot of the asteroids straight there, just out of the blue.
It's always interesting to go in with the terrain, if it's like a huge mountain or something, and really carve it out and turn it into something that is a build. And I think that's one of the interesting things about Minecraft is you could use default terrain and make the terrain look really good just by building on it, which is pretty cool.
I've had ideas for stuff before. I think it was the 10,000 subscriber video on the old channel. I got the idea for that time lapse just purely by going around, flying around the server, and I just saw this lovely like kind of canyon creek thing that was all enclosed. And I just thought, I was like, see if you put a couple of buildings there, that would be beautiful. And we didn't actually terraform anything for that. So if you just kind of fly around a world or generate a world just to go around, you can really just find all the inspiration you need for stuff sometimes.
Thank you.
So you invite people onto your server when they win a contest.
Oh yeah, actually we've got a new build contest coming out really soon. We were hoping to get it out just before MineCon, but I got swamped with other videos and stuff beforehand. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be supplying everyone with a piece of terrain to build on, and then they'll have about 30 days, in that 30 days to submit a build to us, showing like them building it, and then the final thing, and then the top 5 we like, we'll just let you on FyreUK.
So yeah, there'll be a big announcement video for that and everything. We'll detail some of the areas and stuff as well you can build in, but yeah, just build on that and show us what you can do.
Guys, I want to ask, have you got any real architects in your team?
No, I don't think there's any real architects at all. No.
So from where you are taking these huge, amazing ideas for
my
the building?
head a lot of the time.
Wow.
You don't want to know what this head sees normally. It sees things in a very strange 3D form. Like I see wireframe a lot of the time on things as well, just because I used to do a lot of game design and 3D modeling. So I kind of come from that background, so I understand the 3D world way too much. And then that kind of just helps building something architecturally, I guess.
See, I have none. I just had a coloring book when I was 2.
You stay in the edges?
I was just like,
stay in the edges.
Pretty pictures.
You probably went all out the edges, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I failed to connect
We don't
the
have
dots
much
as well.
time left. I think we've got just about 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Okay, so a few more questions.
Have you ever had a build-off against each other?
Both each.
What, is it against me and Matt?
Yeah.
Let's do FyreUK and Hat Films.
Sorry, what? Have you seen our Marshmallow Keep thing? That's our limit.
Instant win. I could never thought of that colour combination.
It's a fantastic combination.
What,
It is.
pink and blue? You didn't think of pink and blue?
No, I just imagine Trot's room at home is just painted in that now, though.
It is. It will be once again. I can decorate.
For some reason, it makes me want to lick the walls, though. There's something really flavourful about it.
Yeah, that's why we call it the Marshmallow Keep.
I think to answer the question though, like I don't know, we try not to go like pit against each other. Although then again, we do have weekly build-offs now, don't we? Actually, on
Yeah,
the server,
well, the server members get together in teams every week now and do build-offs against each other, which is time limited. Like, but they have about an hour to build something.
Yeah. So they've all got like each areas, and they get given a theme and stuff like that, and then they'll just jump in and just build what they can.
I'm not a hugely competitive guy though. I don't really like it. I just like.
We've been invited by other channels before. That it almost seems threatening when they come up and they're just like, "Hey, FyreUK, you think you're so good? Come and have a build-off with me." It's like a street fight type thing. But
what?
I'm like,
Okay.
can we not be friends? Please,
Yeah.
don't bully me. But I think I'd win.
Hey Matt. Hey Phil.
Killer. No.
How are you?
Oh no.
Oh, this is a server member. Everyone.
Hi.
I am afraid of what he's going to ask.
Why?
Because
So
of what
ask
you
the
said to me
question.
before MineCon.
Ask the question.
I'm doing this under a dare, so quick shout out to Lewis.
Oh no.
Yeah.
This is going to be.
I heard this really cool guy built this really cool map that hasn't been released yet. Could I ask when it's being released and what map it is?
He's talking about the map you made, and that is called Fire Games. If anyone
No, I didn't make that.
No, that is you.
No, you really
you just
didn't
there,
make
like,
that, did
in
you?
a little bubble. Like, no, I didn't make that. That wasn't me or anything.
So for those who don't know, we did a kind of thing called Fire Games, which
Yeah.
is sort of like survival games, but with our own sort of unique twists and traps and stuff like that into it, and it's kind of spawning a whole future of custom maps coming from us.
Yeah.
With technical difficulties, I guess, is the reason behind it not being released yet.
I mean,
and
I've been-
thus we're here as well, so we
Yeah.
haven't had the time.
I've been looking for a really good place to host it as well, because obviously we want to put it on Planet Minecraft, but you need places to host it first. So once that's all sorted out, I know, Killer, you said to me about using like MediaFire and stuff. I just want to have one really good dedicated one as well. But I'm assuming like maybe the week and a half after MineCon, we'll release the map for public download.
There'll be an announcement video and everything as well, but
Yeah.
if you guys want to play at the moment, you can go on to, what's the website called?
It's firegames.com, and we have videos up where we're playing. I was playing with Captain Sparkles, and you were with Rich Dog from the
Yeah, I
Box
was
Box.
with Rich Dog, yeah.
And that was fun. I got to kill everyone.
You cheated, though.
I did not cheat. Someone put a bow in the map that was
Oh,
really
someone
good.
just put an enchanted bow in the map with enchanted
And I
armor.
happened to find it and then kill everyone. And it was the
happened to
best
win.
moment
It
of my
wasn't
life.
rigged.
Okay?
We didn't have anyone
That was
shouting
it.
at us. No, it was fine.
Okay.
Rematch. Anyway, sorry.
How many builds did you actually do underground, like in a mountain or something?
We've done a couple. The biggest one that we did was for Aquila, for a syndicate. We built something called Enclave City, and it's this huge, really interconnected city underground, and you can get access to that from the throne room of the main castle of the big city. And that was really interesting for us as a build, kind of, to build underground. It's always really difficult to light, though. That's why
Yeah,
we
that's the main issue with time-lapsing underground is the lighting issues and stuff. Like, you just can't prepare for it, and it glitches everything out. But, yeah, I love building underground. It's so cool.
It is very cool.
Not like Mines of Moria or anything.
I think we've got time for like one more question. We'll go one more question. Okay.
Okay. So it's about video editing and all the stuff after recording. What's the average size, like, about for one recording, and what kind of like software recording and editing you use? Maybe
Well-
this has been responded, but
Quickly remember.
Yeah, I'll be as quick as possible. What this is kind of a weird process depending on what video it is. But say the space time lapse, which was like gigs and megs and terabytes in size, that kind of gets compressed down when I go into After Effects and then edit those out as sped up video files. And then I take those into Premiere Pro and add music onto it and everything. It really just depends on different sizes of things. For example, like the time-lapse we did last year, those were much smaller because like resolution was 720p. Now we do 1080p, so that kind of all just changes things. So it kind of bounces around really depending on the video.
okay. Just a little ad. What kind of codec you use to upload to YouTube? Because when you upload it, like sometimes you get like a crap quality. Even if you did in 1080p, you get like weird colors and stuff.
I use H.264, and I usually am at least 9. I think it's 9 million. I don't even know kbps. So it'd be 9 million kbps, which ends up being
9,000.
a pretty. Yeah. Why is there so many zeros though?
It's a lot, yeah, but it's not 9 million.
Is it? You sure it isn't just like megabytes?
It's magic, basically. I think
It's
is the short
weird
answer for
because
this.
like. I think the zeros at the end just mean how awesome it is.
I think by the time you finish a video, you've gone cross-eyed and you're seeing way too many zeros.
That's probably correct, actually. So I usually use H.264, which is and then render that out H.264 to MP4, and that's what all these videos were in today. So.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Cheers. Well, thank you everyone for coming along today. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos and everything that you saw. Obviously, all the stuff is up on there, like the website and everything. At FyreUK is the Twitter as well.
Yep, if you see us around, come say hi. We'll be around MineCon.
And once we're wrapped up here, as I said earlier, we'll be heading kind of out in that-ish direction. We'll do some signings and stuff with you guys. And if you had any further questions,
thank you everyone!
And a big thank you to Hat Films as well for joining us.